Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kashawn Hopkins. I'm an instructional technology specialist from Oklahoma Public School Resource Center, and today I'm here to talk about Visme. Visme. We just talked about this before this, but Visme for sure. Yeah, I just want to take a moment while we're here to introduce my colleague.
Hello, I'm Kurt Bernhardt. I'm the technology director for OPSRC, and Kashawn and I make up the technology team here. Just reach out to us if you have any tech needs.
Absolutely. Best way to do that is through techteam@opsrc.net. Got the email right up there, and I'll copy a bit of that. Yeah, reach out to me, Kurt. Additionally, if you're here in the live session, you can get the slides through this link over here. I'm going to read it out since it is case sensitive. Lowercase t period ly/19 uppercase B lowercase t. And if you're listening to the recording, or if you just want to visit the website over there, go to opsrc.net/TechTalks. If you go over there, you can see a couple of really nice things over there, like, for example, our upcoming Tech Talks. We'll get some more in there in the near future. We have a little button so you can suggest future tech tools, and we have a little section dedicated to all of our archived Tech Talks. All of those include the recorded videos and presentation slides and all sorts of wonderful things like information on technology, integration models, individual tech tools. And it just goes on and on and on down this direction. So this is worth taking a look at, especially the last couple of presentations I've done. The whole theme has been being able to create graphics in all of these different ways. We've covered Adobe Creative Cloud Express, Canva, Pixlr, and that leaves us with Visme. Nailed it. I got it. All right. And let me show you what is possible with this. And I feel like there's so much more. There's so many different examples of what you can create here. But this is just one. There was a little infographic. I took a template. I make some adjustments. And so let me open up that. So one really nice thing is that you can publish items and share it in presentation mode without being able to without having to log in. This is a very simple version. There's animations that you can add in and charts and graphs. But I didn't add in on this one. I just wanted to keep it real simple, but you can see that I can scroll through this graphic, and at the bottom of the screen, you can see it sort of fill itself in using a small animation that was included in the template here. So yeah, this is a little guide on how to wash your hands in 5 steps. And one of the features when it comes to creating graphics on Visme, which kind of sets it apart from some of the other graphic tools that I've talked about, is that they use a block style interface. So this is one block up here, just like a blue background piece of text. You can see a little circle graphic here in the line with a little shadow drop right behind it. But then when you scroll down, this is a separate block with different graphics, and you can see like that little animation of it kind of sort of appearing. It looks really nice when you scroll right through it. I'm going to give you the instructions: wet your hands using clean running water, apply soap, rub your hands together. And yeah, and just be able to add these text in. I kept it on the same text on everything just to have a little bit of cohesiveness on here. And yeah, you can scroll through and see all the little steps and graphics on here. Everything looks nice. All of the colors are kind of in a similar theme, using like these purple and blue colors. It's sort of like a cool theme on here, just kind of a nice casual educational experience. And all of this was pretty much done through templates and picking themes. So a lot of the stuff was really easy. It really took only a couple of minutes for me to just kind of slap this together and get the information on here. And all of this stuff is changeable, so you could switch it up. You don't have to talk about washing hands. You can change any of the text on here, change the font, do whatever you want to do on here. I can even, there's a little toolbar on the right-hand side, bottom right-hand side corner over here that I can adjust a little bit. So if I want to zoom into certain details or zoom out and see the whole graphic in its glory here, you could do that. And you can even click the share button down here and spit this graphic out to lovely social media down over there. So really super cool that you can do this. It even has the title and a little description on there, who made it, what the timestamp. And so all of this comes within this graphic. And you can actually download this as a JPEG and share it, or put it in a Google Drive, dump it in a Google Classroom. However way that you want to use these graphics, there are options. Okay, so showed you a little bit example. I would like to share an objective with you. So after this tech talk, educators will be able to use Visme to create and edit visual content and help students achieve their learning goals. Always got to have that little piece over there to remind us what we are doing this for. We can't just throw a technology tool, hope it's good because it's a cool tool, and it's a cool tool, but there's a bunch of cool tools out there, but at the very least, we want to always be focused on what are the students getting out of this. And I'll talk more about that, especially when it comes to the technology integration part, which is one of the sections we're going to talk about. So in the next 24-ish minutes, I'm going to give a tool overview, do a little showcase, show you what the tool's all about, get you logged in, show you around in the place. Next, I'm going to integrate technology. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to just kind of plan ahead, design with the students kind of at the center of using these tools. Then I'm going to combine those first two sections into a section about tool applications, just taking Visme and what will that look like in your classroom? What will be some first initial steps there? And then finally, just do a little wrap up, share some resources, a link to the evaluation, and just give you a big, huge thanks. And while I have a moment, thank you so much for anybody that's listening who's made it to this far. I really do appreciate it and I hope you get something out of this tech talk. So without further ado, let's jump into the meat of this lovely technology tool sandwich I got going on here. So Visme is a visual content creation platform. So a nice little simple definition to answer the question, what is it? It's very, very, very simple platform that lets you create some visual content on there. A couple of features to be aware of on here. Like I said before, we got a nice little block design, a drag and drop interface. There's going to be like a nice little toolbar that I'll show during the showcase. You can pull things from it, drop it into your little canvas space, and you can make some edits right over there. Really clean interface, I think, on here. You don't have to like scour through menus to try to find these settings or anything like that. It's all kind of done on there. There's some free learning materials I'll show first thing on the showcase, how to learn how to use Visme using a lot of the resources that are already out there created by Visme. I think they've done a great job with that. There's some data integration tools, which is something that really sets this particular tool apart from the other ones that I've already talked about, like Pixlr or Canva. There is a specific section dedicated to building charts directly into your graphics on there, and I just love that kind of like data visualization part of working with graphics. There's 100 megabyte cloud storage. You can just download some of these things and put them into like your Google Drives, your OneDrives, any of that. But there's some built-in storage, and it's actually kind of nice in here, as long as you're not storing like giant images, like high graphics and stuff. If you're just doing kind of like basic edits and things like that, 100 megabytes will get you pretty far. Some limitations to kind of keep in mind. You can only download they're on the free account at the very least. You can only download as a JPEG, which is kind of unfortunate. Some of the other tools have more options involved on here right at the get-go, but at the very least, you can download it, which is great, but you only get one format on here. Additionally, one kind of annoying thing about this, I didn't run across about like advertisements and things that's usually included inside of like premium content stuff. Like for example, Pixlr had some ads and things that took up a little bit of visual space here and there. But some of the templates actually have watermarked content built inside of them. So even though the template itself is free, you might see some graphics on there that has like the word premium attached to it. You can delete those, but it is a little bit annoying. So I do want that to be, at least you be aware of that. Okay, so those are a couple of things I want to point out. I do want to show off some things in the showcase, which is right about now. So let's go in here to the question, where can you access this? You can do it through Visme, that's spelled VISME.co. That is not a misspelling, it is .co, so I'm going to click on that. And you'll be taken on here. Isn't that lovely? It's not just a tool, it's a whole workshop. That's a fun little tagline, isn't it? Okay, cool. So here is where you can sign up. Thank you. Down over there, it's already jumped up on me because I guess it considers me a new user. Here on the bottom right-hand corner, if you click on that little question mark, it does lead you to their video tutorials, their basics, their articles on there. It's pretty nice that they kind of put all of the learning materials right there, so you don't have to like scavenger hunt for them. If you do want to look for those kind of learning materials, top left-hand corner, if you hover over Learn and click on it, you get a lot of options here. We got video tutorials, ebooks. All this stuff is free, by the way. I downloaded one of their ebooks over creating infographics. It was quite good. It was like 100-something pages, way more than I probably need. But man, if I want to create some bomb infographics, it's all there. You got free online courses, webinars, graphic design videos, and a bunch in their blogs and help articles in there. So tons of resources just like right there, all in the same place. You just find it and then bing, bang, boom, it's there. So yeah, good stuff. I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner. There's a big blue button that says sign up for free. So that is where you're going to start if you're trying to create a free account. Me, I've already created it, so I'm going to save a little bit of time by just going up to the top right-hand corner and click on login. The sign-up process is pretty much the same. You either get an account or you can log in with your Google account or your Facebook account. I'm just going to do my Google one here. Sign on in. And then you'll be taken to the old dashboard on here. So anything that you create is called a project. On the top left-hand corner, you can see this big old blue button that says Create New on there, which is where we can get started on the projects. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see other projects that I've already worked with. Like, for example, the wash your hands one. If I just click Present, it will take me back to that view of when I showed that graphic on there, and you can interact with it the same way they did a second ago. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything worth sharing with you, but I think I'm just going to jump into a project. Let's just do that. Let's just get to it. I'm going to click on that blue button. Let's click on that. And you can choose to create folders if you want to adjust any of your projects, if you need to just kind of like, organize a bit of that stuff. If this is a tool that you end up using a whole lot, creating folders is a great place to start. Just start organizing some of those tools in there. Additionally, you can import PowerPoint presentations. This tool is really big into supporting infographics and presentations on there. So if you explore really anything in here, those two project types is probably a good idea. So I'm going to hover over. In fact, they're the first two items up here on new projects, presentations, infographics, and then there's a bunch of other tools that you could take advantage of. I'm going to select infographics. And what this does is it essentially searches, but under this specific section. So here are my infographics. You can see at the very top, I can switch which project type that I want to work with here. And it really just kind of depends on what's the goal of the graphic that you're trying to create. But in this case, maybe I'm just trying to present some information in a nice, clean visual way. So infographic would fit that. And then when I scroll down, you can see that there are some filters down here. And I love that these are organized by purpose on here. We got the featured, which this is going to kind of like the top page stuff. But if I want to make a comparison, if I want to show a progress, if I want to do a roadmap to kind of describe what a plan is, if I want to use a flow chart, if I just want to do like a tiny little, let's click on that. Let's do a tiny, small piece of information, maybe just like one little, like one really just kind of like one piece of data point on there. That's just, I'm trying to use that to make a point on there. There's that in there as well. And there's tons of little templates on here. So let me see if I could find one that shows kind of that weird watermark business I was talking about. So I'm going to click on edit, which will take me to the editing window where you can get a lot of the action here. So yeah, this is a nice little template on here. You might not be able to see it, so I'm going to scroll in a little bit. I'm going to go to the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little scroll bar where it says 100%, and a little scroll bar. I'm going to hold left click on this little ball over here, this little dot, and just kind of scroll in just a little bit so it makes it a little easier for you to see what I'm trying to show you here. Sorry, my Zoom window is now in my way. There it is. But you can see that there's a little premium watermark on there. So kind of unfortunate On some of them, and this one, it's a little bit, it's messing up the core concept of this, which is showing off this percentage on here. But I can change this out for something else favorable. But I would basically have to delete that piece and then bring in an element that matches that a little bit better. But I think at the very least, you get the idea of what I'm trying to show there. Is so it's not perfect on there. Additionally, let me see if, can I just back up out of this? Additionally, when you're looking through templates, if you see any that may not have been a wise idea that I just pressed back. Okay, there it is. Fantastic. Additionally, if you see any templates with a little crown on it, that means it belongs to a premium account. You got to pay for those, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know, they got to make their money somehow. There it is. It literally says premium on them. So those are the ones that usually look really nice. They have a bunch of complex graphics in them. Sometimes you just need simple stuff, or especially if you're just starting out, templates are nice. They're super, they give you nice things to look at, give you nice examples to kind of hang your hat on. But sometimes you just want to go over here and select blank template. I think that's a really good place to start. So if you want to do a blank template, you just basically find the type of template that you want. So you select one of these sections here and then go over to the very first option where it says blank template and click on get started. And that's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start on a blank template. All right, sorry, let me move my Zoom windows here. They're in the way. Okay, cool. So here is a nice little blank page. And this blank page is actually one block. And there's actually, I can create more blocks below this one. But let me put something on here so you can see visually what the heck is going on here. But yeah, this is my canvas space. On the far left-hand side are things that I could take and then dump into my canvas space. Like, for example, if I wanted to click on header text, so this is just a piece of font, and I want to add a title on here, I can do that. I just click on add on title. It already dumps that in the space over here. I double click that space where I can type in some information there, and I'm just going to type in my name, Sean Hopkins, boom. And you can see as I am doing that at the very top of my screen, context settings. So that means I can highlight this piece of text. I can click on the drop-down menu. I can switch this up to a different piece of font there. I can adjust the size if I'd like. I can click and drag these little dots on the corner of my box and make some adjustments there. Let me see if I get my name on the, yeah, that's the way I like it. Yes. And I can even click and drag the edges of the box to move it. And you can see very faintly, wherever I move this box, there are nice little guidelines on those. I always love those guidelines because it just makes it a little nicer. So if I want to have this at the top of my screen, centered straight in the middle, oh, that looks delicious. There we go. Looks great. Nice little title up there. Looking pretty awesome. And if I ever want to adjust anything on there, I can just click on my name, double click in that space, and I can adjust things like colors and stuff like that. Okay, if I click on empty space where nothing is, I can go, you can see that there's also settings for the background as well. I just have a blank sheet of paper. Maybe I want to jazz this up. So I'm going to click on this little white circle on the left-hand side of my little setting bar that popped up here. And let's switch this to blue. Blue, I guess it's okay. Not the best color for this one, but I do want to show off blocks here. So this is one block that I'm working with that just has my name and the background color blue. But if I wanted to drop another block in here, on the right-hand side, there is also some extra settings here. But if I click this little plus button, and there should be no tooltip. There was tooltips. I know. Oh, okay, yeah, I have to click the plus sign and it gives me that setting. And then if I hover over this first space with the page with the plus sign on it, it says, give me an empty block. So that's what I want there. I'm going to click on add empty block. And now I have this block up here with information, and I could scroll down and I'll have this block of information down over here. So I might have something in here. Let's throw a graphic in here. So I'm going to go to the left-hand side. I'm going to click on graphics. And there's lots to choose from. I got lines and shapes. I got icons. I got 3D graphics. That actually sounds kind of nice. No. Let's throw a character in here. I like that. Let's do a character. Let's click that. And some of them are animated. Some of them are just regular shapes. Some of them are animated. Just kind of depends. You do see that there's some premium stuff mixed in here. Let's just do kind of like a casual. Let's throw a person in here. Oh man, a bunch of these are premium. That's fine. Let's get a lady in here. Let's get a fella in here. Oh, they are. Look at them wave at me. That's adorable. And so you can see I just clicked on the item and it dumped it in that space for me. So now I can move this here. Let me get kind of like a nice symmetrical deal going on here. There we go. I'm going to put these boxes at the end. There we go. Maybe they're on a team together. I don't know. And when I click on any of these graphics, you can see there's different settings on here. Like I could change the color. Oh, that is interesting of the person. I can change the poses that this guy is doing. That's pretty sick. Maybe he has some kind of announcement. That's beautiful. I can adjust the settings on here. I can just replace him entirely if I want to, but now I don't want to. I'm delighted that he's here to share this presentation with me. But you can see the way that it works. I have this block up here with text and the background, and then I have this block down here with these lovely people on here showing off my graphics and showing off this really cool tool that I'm working on. Let's throw a photo up here. You know what? Actually, I want to make sure that I have plenty of time. The one thing that I really wanted to show off is data. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is going to knock your socks off. So yeah, let's say, for example, one big thing that I actually want to present here is a bar chart full of whatever information. So I'm going to click on charts and graphs. There's some lovely bar charts, and you can see there's pie charts, there's donuts, there's lines and dots. There's also these crazy complex ones. Unfortunately, a lot of them are, paid premium ones, but sometimes simple gets the job done, especially when it comes to visual design. So let's keep it simple, stupid. It's the KISS, K-I-S-S. Yeah, I'm gonna click on the vertical bar. Sorry, I'm not calling people stupid. I'm just, that's the saying when it comes to graphic design that you just want to keep, or any design in general. But now I have this nice little graph that I'm going to center here. And you can see there's a correlation here between the left-hand side settings and the bar chart that I just threw up there. Like, for example, I see that there's the information about Europe, America, and Africa on here. If I wanted to adjust the information on Africa, so this does involve a little bit of design with like Google Sheets, Excel, like those cell editing interface on here. So this might require, if you're introducing people with stuff that like this information, like if they've never dealt with Excel before, this might go over their heads, but if they have, this is going to be a fantastic tool. So I can adjust the data in here. What I just want to show up, but I can adjust the data in here, and it will adjust the visual representation of it down over here. So if I wanted to change the label from Africa to Asia, not Asian, Asia, you can see that it changes on here. If I wanted to add something in here, like oh, I already had Africa in there. I'm gonna misspell this. I'm sure I am. Australia. Oh no, you get the idea. And I'll throw in 50 in here. Oh man. I can't have spell checker save me here. You can see that even it adjusts the scale on here. So it does a lot of that graphic chart adjustment for you on the fly, which is fantastic. Okay, I am running out of time. There's so many features that I feel like I just need to do another one on these. But at the very least, let me show you on the top right-hand corner, there's a bunch of items up here that you should take advantage of. Like, for example, you can invite people to collaborate. Since it's a free account, you can only invite them to either view a document or comment on a document. And you do it through email, but can be quite useful. There's the present mode, which I showed off a little bit earlier. There's the download button here on the top right-hand corner, which, like I said before, unfortunately only lets you do JPEG. It wouldn't even let you download it in PNG, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, and then over here on the top right-hand corner, if you click on share button, you can publish the stuff. Now, when you publish an item, that means it's publicly available and you can share it, which is what I did with that graphic. Also, you might want to give these projects title. They just come untitled on there, and that can get you in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to show you up here or at the very top of the screen where it says entitled. You click on that, you click the little pencil. Make sure when students, if this is a tool for your students, make sure they change the name of the project. Let them give it anything, any project name, just don't let them leave it untitled, it'll drive you crazy. And yeah, that is a little showcase of the tool. I spent a lot of time on that, so I'm gonna have to truncate a little bit of this next part. but hopefully, yeah, you've enjoyed some of the tool that we have here. So I have about 5 more minutes. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. I hope you've learned something. I hope this tool kind of speaks to you. And even if it doesn't, maybe this tool might speak to a colleague of yours. So maybe this is going to be worth a share. But at the very least, I just want to spend just a few minutes talking about integrating technology. First of which, there's a lot of ways to answer the question, how to integrate technology. I just want to share one way to answer that question, which is through the technology integration matrix created by the Florida Center for Instructional Technology on here. The idea is that you have 5 characteristics of meaningful learning environments, which represents the 5 rows, colored rows that I have here, and then 5 different levels of technology integration. I just want to pick one characteristic out of these 5: active, collaborative, constructive, authentic, and goal-directed, and go through an exercise that's called Take It Up a Level. The idea behind Take It Up a Level is that you take one characteristic that you really want to work for on, and you take a technology tool and determine kind of where you are at with that tool with your student in terms of comfort and skill level, and kind of where you're at with the tool, kind of take those and kind of self-diagnose yourself and say, okay, am I at an entry level? Am I at an adoption level? Am I at the adaptation level, or whatever? And then try to take it up one single level using some kind of activity with your students. You try to plan that through. So with the active characteristic is the one that I want to pick here, which a small description of that characteristic is that students are engaging with the technology as a tool rather than passively receiving information. I'm trying to get away from just students getting an information dump for me. I want the students to actually like get in and get a bit of that engagement, get a bit of that motivation by just using that tool and gaining that experience. So if your students are unfamiliar with Visme, probably a good place to say that you're at is the entry phase, entry level of technology integration. So that's characterized by like passive use. So students are just gaining information. This is just kind of the base level of interacting with the tool. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with this tool. I think this tool is part of the this level is part of the learning process of getting students comfortable with using the tool. So an example that I threw up here is take advantage of all of those resources that Visme has created. Have students watch Visme videos, have them take the Visme course, have them look at some of the guides that they have here. There's a bunch of different ways to accommodate the different learning modes there, and have them just kind of like get an example of how to create graphics. And you might even want to show students, be a good model, and create a graphic in front of them. The next level, once you feel students are comfortable, that would be the adoption level. So this is characterized by procedural use. Students are learning those small skills there. They're learning how to add in text, graphics, photos, data, media, and they're going to throw things in the project and just kind of mess around a little bit. Give them some guidelines. Say like, hey, here's a list, here's a checklist of all the things that I want you to throw in a graphic. I want you to create a graphic using these different things, and just get them practice with the small bite-sized pieces of things that you can do in Visme. Because you just saw there is a plethora of things that you can do with it, and sometimes it's just kind of learning like what's out there to figure out like to get more comfortable with getting in the tool and using it. And once you feel like students have your students have gotten kind of a handle on a tool, that's when you want to bump them up to the adaptation phase. And by the way, you don't have to dump this all in one lesson. Sometimes it's going to require a couple of different days or spread it over like a whole unit's worth of work, but it just kind of depends on how you want to use your tool and how your students respond to it. But at the adaptation phase, that's characterized by independent use of the tool. So students use the guidelines that you set for them. You kind of set them on a project with some kind of goal, and then you have them create and develop the project. And I highly recommend, I'm throwing a little bit of a separate characteristic, which is collaboration, but I'm throwing it out there. Have students share those graphics. Visual learning is useful for the students because it gives them just kind of a different way of looking at information and combining a bunch of complex ideas into something simple. But I argue, put those graphics in front of an audience, because then students have to design with other people in mind. It's not just information for them, it's how does this look like? What does this graphic and information look like from someone else's perspective? And you can kind of broaden their ideas from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go a little bit over time, but I think it's going to be all right. I just want to wrap up here. First of all, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me talk about this tool. I got a little excited about it, I will admit. So I'm going to win a little bit over time, but I'm hoping it's going to be, it has been worth your time. So the last little bit that I have here is some slides dedicated to Visme resources. I put the link to some tutorials, the presentation course I was talking about. There's a case study that I think is absolutely fascinating. If you don't check any of these tools out, I recommend that you, I'm even going to put a little star on it. I recommend that you check out this case study because there's some good stuff in there. The next slide is dedicated to technology integration. If that technology integration matrix sounded interesting to you, or you want to look at other frameworks, there's ISTE standards in there as well. I highly recommend that you check out those resources. And then finally, this last page, please, 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 don't skip that evaluation. We need those. We need them to make it better. We need to hear from other perspectives on there. So I'm leaving a link to the evaluation right over there. It is case sensitive, so keep that in mind. Real quick, my name is Kashawn Hopkins. I'm joined here with Kurt Bernhardt. Thank you so much, Kurt, for joining us. You can shoot us an email through techteam@opsrc.net. And if you want more, you want to take a look at some of our other technology talks, upcoming or past, go to opsrc.net/TechTalks, and you can get some more information there. Or you can give us a shout out at any one of these lovely social media places. We would love to hear from you, regardless where it comes from. So with that, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I'll see you next time.